is in distress. Are there any Americans out there? SOS. Are there any Americans out there that give a damn?
This is great stuff. I could make a career out of this guy. You see how clever this part is? How it doesn't require a shred of proof? And most paranoid delusions are intricate, but this is brilliant.
Well, I wonder if those of you that are watching that
still don't get it, do you?
The American flag This is a sign. This is not a sign of disrespect. More than anyone, I love my United States military.
You know, the official story is there were no explosions. There were no explosions. There were no explosives. There were no explosions that brought those buildings down. The official story is that the impact of the aircraft, with the heat of the fire, weakened the structure, which allowed the collapse.
During its construction. It's my understanding that when this building was designed, one of the criteria that it was designed for was a direct hit from a 707.
Is a much larger in mass aircraft than the 767. It's what we put an AWACS dome on. No other aircraft in the inventory can do that. Not the large AWACS dome. So it's an illusion, it's a paranoid illusion to say 767 and 757 are somehow larger than the 707. Equal maybe.
Clearly, planes are larger today, and it wasn't considered the effects of the aftermath fires and high temperatures that would have been applied to the structure subsequent to the collision, as we saw today.
And
watch the corner and you tell me if the windows are being exploded out all the way down.
9:59 as the Pentagon burns the South Tower. 9:59 as the Pentagon burns the South Tower
of the collapse. Like an umbrella opening right under the canopy, you can watch the windows blowing out.
9:59 as the Pentagon burns the South Tower. 9:59 as the Pentagon burns the South Tower.
4 and 5 and 6 floors below the collapse.
It usually means that the weight above the damage forces the collapse and it falls. You know what? You don't see that. What you see.
The U.S. is a symbol of Western capitalism, which they fear.
The mayor of New York City was even in and out in the first press conference.
The U.S. is a symbol of Western capitalism, which they fear. The U.S. supported the South Iran, which they. The U.S. is a symbol of Western capitalism, which they fear. The U.S. supported the South Iran, which they.
A fire caused this collapse. I don't know. This collapse looks like several of the hotels and casinos that have been brought down on the Las Vegas Boulevard. That's what that looks like. It sure doesn't look like a happenstance collapse, but that's the official story.
The tower collapsed, and all of those rescue personnel and people trying to flee this scene were left underneath all of that rubble. The carnage in Manhattan
of the World Trade Center collapsed. By then, authorities had closed down the tunnels and bridges leading into the island of Manhattan, and the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration, had ordered all U.S. airports closed. The North Tower of the World Trade Center collapsed at 10:29 a.m. New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, while not speculating on the final death toll, has told reporters it may be, quote, more than any of us can bear.
And other collapses like L'Ambiance Plaza here in Connecticut and the Hyatt Regency in Kansas City and the Oklahoma City bombing. It takes a very long time to clear the rubble and find all the people that might be trapped underneath it.
But at what point, what has to happen before it is literally safe to send someone into that space?
I don't know that it will ever be safe. I think the rescue
into that space.
I don't know that it will ever be safe.
The news stopped showing you very early. They stopped showing the collapses because it's so obvious they are exploding.
I don't know that it will ever be safe. I think the rescue
into that space.
Why does CNN put their ticker tape over where the explosions would be coming out of the windows? Is that an accident?
Safe. I think the
or do they pay $160 million for a shot like that? Why as it collapses, you only see the collapse at the top? They won't let you see under that umbrella canopy, will they? Is that by accident or happenstance? That's probably just happenstance, like the building's collapsing.
Into that space.
I don't know that it will ever be safe. I think the rescue
into that space.
I don't know that it will ever be safe. I think the rescue.
Space.
Are the windows at the corner exploding?
I don't know that it will ever be safe. I think the rescue
into that space.
Under the canopy of the collapse.
I don't know that it will ever be safe. I think the rescue.
No, on the contrary, I think that the system we have in place needs to be made better.
At the corner that you can see, the closest corner of that building to this camera shot,
people who are
and watch as the collapse comes down like an umbrella. Look up under the canopy at that corner and tell me if those windows are not ejecting out 25 to 35 feet, obviously from explosions.
Tim O'Brien, we began this segment, and by the way, CNN.
Even in edge detection.
On the contrary, I think that the system we have in place needs to be made better. I think we need sky marshals on aircraft, but I think the people who are responsible for our security, both domestically and internationally, have to get down to work.
And there's a corner of the building, like a
Tim O'Brien, we began this segment, and by the way,
a palm tree in the wind.
The North Tower had collapsed already. This is the South Tower. You can see
that corner is duplicated in the second collapse.
We know that as you see it there, it's just falling away, just falling out of the sky, falling into pieces all over Lower Manhattan, and so you can understand the tremendous amount of ash was dumped on Lower Manhattan.
Were those explosions we heard?
50,000 people work in the towers in the center area
before the
final
collapse.
And then, of course, there are additional tens of thousands of tourists who would come to the tourists who want to see the tremendous vantage point you would have from the top of the towers.
Corner under
the New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani has told us he does believe that there was a horrendous loss of life there, but he doesn't even want to try to guess how many people have died in New York today. Here now, we want to give you the eyewitness accounts of people who saw some.
Listen for the large explosion sounds before the final collapse. Watch the top of the building fall in free fall speed. Obviously, its weight did not cause the collapse because it falls, free falls through the smoke. Watch the top of the building.